Today, we're going to look at how to create, import, and configure EMQ groups in Synap. Before we get started, I'm going to assume a few things here, that you're comfortable using the Synap platform, you know how to make collections and courses, you can upload simple MCQ groups to the portal. For more information on this, you want to head to academy.synap.ac. Today, we're going to have a look into EMQs. What EMQ groups are extended matching questions, and what they can be used for is creating questions that share a common stem. This is really useful if you want to create comprehension questions like we're going to do today, or if you have instructions that need to be shared. This is helpful in maths, so you could have, say, look at this table, and then have 5 questions that relate to that. Okay, so let's get started. I've already set up a collection here. I'm going to be using Great Expectations to show you how to make a comprehensive sort of style question. So if we go into edit into our collection here, I'm going to start adding items, and the items I'm going to be adding are a quiz. So this is just showing you sort of any way to get through to creating a quiz. We're going to create a new quiz. Okay, so this is going to be Great Expectations Comprehension Exam. I'm going to save it as I go. Okay, so I've now got an empty quiz that's ready to have something imported into it. So before I start, I'm going to have to configure this quiz to allow EMQs to be built into it. So I'm going to enable here, save, perfect. And you can see there that the EMQ groups has popped up. If we go to import, it's going to ask me to import EMQ groups and then import questions. It's really important that if you are making EMQ groups, and you're going to have questions, you're going to have to make the EMQ groups first. The point of this is going to be that we're going to upload them to Synap. We're going to get a list of these EMQ IDs, and we're going to use to match it up, use those IDs to match them up on our MCQ sheet. Okay, so import EMQs. If you've already got a template ready, it's just select your file and upload. But we're going to go through how to make your template now. So if you've not, download the EMQ groups template from here, and you'll get a sheet with the following columns. So we've got Synap ID. For new EMQs, this should be blank. We'll come on to that a little bit more later. And then for our external IDs, right, so this is really important here. So name these something that you can easily locate. So for this example, I focused on 2 characters in the comprehension, Magwitch and Miss Havisham. So I called the external IDs something accordingly. Okay. Instructions. Now this is going to be the common thing that's shared between all the questions that have the EMQ group attached to it. So this box takes HTML. So we've got our HTML formatted chapter here. If you're not comfortable with HTML, you can just stick in some plain text and add in the formatting after. But to give you an example, this is what this one will look like once it's been formatted. So happy with that. I've got an image on there, and that's like in image tags. And then I can also add in some feedback here. I'm actually not going to add any in, but you know, it's the same process here. This can take in HTML, and the feedback will be shown after each question that's in your EMQ group. Okay, cool. So when I'm happy with this, I'm going to download it. And then I'm going to come back to my builder here. And I'm pretty happy that I'm going to get the format right. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to go to my downloads, and I'm going to upload that EMQ group. Okay, so this is the page you'll see just before your EMQs are ready. So this is a good chance to check everything's correct. So I'm going to make sure that the fields have been mapped out properly. So Synap ID, that's been picked up. External ID has been picked up. My instructions have been picked up, and the feedback's been picked up. So I'm happy with all of them. I can confirm that. And this is also a brilliant time to review your EMQ. So it has indeed got that external ID, and it matches to the right chapter in this case. The formatting's come out well. I can see that all the italics has come through, the images come through, and everything looks fine to me. Okay, so when I'm happy, I'm going to start the import. Okay, so the import's gone through. I just need to refresh my browser as it's prompted me to do. I'll also get an email telling me that the groups have been created. Perfect. So the next step here is I need to get those EMQ IDs that I mentioned earlier because I need to have a way to link my 2 sheets together. So if I had millions and millions of EMQs here, I would obviously just export the CSV so I could manage it straight off the sheet, but I only have 2. So I'm going to be a little bit lazy, and I'm just going to scroll scroll right down to the bottom, and I'm going to grab the Synap ID from here. I'm going to go back to my sheet that I'm managing my EMQs off. Just get rid of that big box for now, and I'm going to very carefully paste in the correct one. And then for my chapter on Miss Havisham, same again, I'm going to grab that ID, paste it back into here. Okay, great. So what I've got here is the EMQs I've created with the unique Synap ID. So the next part of this is to upload the MCQs. So I've already gone ahead and I've made some of those. So I'm just going to grab that Magwitch ID again here, and we're going to have a look at our MCQ sheet. Again, if you're not familiar with this process, please go and have a look at our documents on how to upload MCQs, go into a lot of detail there. I'm not going to go through every single one of these fields on this, but I've just got some simple MCQs with a few options here. Okay, so again, with the external IDs on this, my MCQ sheet, I've been really careful and made sure that I've named them something that I can spot them. So I've got my Magwitches and I've got my Havisham questions. So if I'm going to go along, so my Magwitch question goes up to row 5. I'm going to scroll all the way over to my EMQ ID. I'm going to paste in those Magwitch IDs here. Just being really careful to not make any mistakes. Just go back over, grab the ID for the Miss Havisham questions, the second EMQ group in this case, and I'm going to paste those in there. Okay, so what we've done here is we've managed to link the MCQs to the EMQs. So what this is saying is whenever you see a question that has this EMQ ID associated with it, you need to show them all of this text because it's all part of the same group. Okay, so that's exactly what we've done here. So I can double check everything's fine here. I'm going to download this one as a CSV. Okay, and then I'll go back to my quiz builder here. I'm happy with everything that's done there. And I'm going to go back to import, and this time I'm importing the questions. Okay. So same again here, if you don't have the question template, you'll find it at this link. I've just downloaded mine. I'm going to upload that. Okay, same again, let's check the field mappings. Everything looks like it's been picked up. I don't have any images, but it'll still look for those fields here. Okay. Okay, that looks good to me. So again, it's a good opportunity. You can double check that the questions are being pulled in correctly. And they are looking fine to me. So I'm going to start this import. Create my questions. Hopefully it'll do it nice and quickly for me because there's not loads. And then I'll refresh my browser like it asks me to. Awesome. So yeah, so it's created them there. So that's looking good to me. Again, now it's picked up the EMQ ID. So all these questions will have all that text associated with each one of them. Perfect. So now, just because I want to check a few things, so it'll try and decide the right layout for you here. I would just quite like it to enforce side by side no matter what. So I'm just going to change it on a few if it's not already, just to see what happens really. So let's go grab a Miss Havisham question, go to advanced options, side by side. You can see it's picked up my EMQs again. Just do one more on here, side by side, done. Okay, awesome. So there's my EMQs built. So the next obvious step here is to see what they look like from a student's point of view. So if I'm going to go back to my quiz details, I'm going to go back to my collection. I can see this one here. I'm just going to edit the course cover while I'm here, just to make it all nice and the same. Save that. Fab. So I'm in my collection and these are my collection items. It's just that one quiz that we've just created. So I'm just going to double check access. So I'm logged in as an admin now. I can check everything here that has access. If I want to add in another user group, so let's say I want all the students to have access to this as well, and just do it like this. Okay, awesome. So if I come over here into, move my Loom recorder out of the way, if I flick over into study mode, I should be able to navigate to collections, my Great Expectations one, click on there, take it in exam mode, and there we go. So it's pulled that in. I can see the image is a little big here, so that's probably something I want to go back and edit, but it's pulled it in and it'll be sharing the commonality between all of these questions very nicely. So these are the ones that I didn't enforce the side-by-side in, so that's another thing that I'll probably want to go back in and change. But this is why it's really important to check everything over before you send it off to the students individuals. This one actually looks okay in this view, but I still think it would be better in the side-by-side. So awesome. So that's it. That's all there is to EMQs. There's a few steps in there. Just remember, it's really, really important to create the EMQs first before you upload the MCQs, so that you have that nice unique ID, and that you put that ID in very carefully, because it will, if if one of these is wrong, it will match it to whichever you put in there. Okay, awesome. Thank you.